everyone. Well, it's a little cool out there today, but it's going to be warm in here because we're going to warm it up with spirit as Syntysche gives her talk. Is anybody here from another unity visiting? Okay. Is there anybody here for the first time? Raise your hand if you are, because we have a great gift for you. All right. Okay. Got somebody back there. Just take care of that. Yeah, there are keys to a new Lexus out in the parking lot for you. All right. This is the day we bring our own spirit of joy and love to bear in our own experience. And you will have an opportunity to do that big time when you tune into what Syntysche has to share. You're going to love this talk. Look forward to it.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity at Boulder. Those of you who are here with us in person, those of us who are joining online, thank you for joining us every Sunday. We appreciate it very much, and we just like to have a good time with you. So I got a few announcements of things that are coming up here. Today's big event is at 1:30 today. We are going to be having a workshop led by Zoylita Grant. It's about finding your spiritual gifts. Zoylita, where are you? Will you stand up? This is Zoylita right here. She's teaching the class. This lady is a miracle worker. If you haven't already signed up for her class, she is worth it. It's from 1:30 today to 4:30. You can sign up in the bookstore or right before the event. Go get yourself some lunch and come on back. Zoylita Grant, you are awesome. So we also have coming up on January 29th, we have a woman's sacred feminine workshop happening. It's almost more of an experience than a workshop. And it's led by a few women that Syntysche has met, and she went to this workshop in Lyons and loved it so much that she said, you guys have to come do this at Unity of Boulder. I saw her face when she came home from this same event. It was completely changed and different from when she left the house earlier that day. I highly recommend this class. So does Syntysche. There's a much longer sheet of a better description about it in the lobby by the poster for it. So if you're interested, please check that out. You can sign up in the bookstore or online, or you can ask it. You can come into the office and ask any one of us about it to get a kind of a better idea. Or if you have a chance, ask Syntysche. I'm sure she will probably sell you on it. So check that one out. We are going to be starting in February on the 2nd and 4th Thursdays. We're going to be starting an ongoing men's group, but it's also going to be a book study. This isn't a thing where it's just for 6 weeks or just for 8 weeks. It's going to be ongoing. They'll finish a book, move on to the next. The first meeting will be about what book to start reading, and that'll be led by Steve Hayes. So keep that in mind for February. That's the 2nd and 4th Thursdays in the evening at 6:30. And starting in March, if anyone's interested in or wondering when we're going to start our next year-long A Course in Miracles course, we will be starting it Monday, March 6th, and it will run for an entire year, also led by Steve Hayes. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to sign up for that. And last but not least, this Friday, we've been having an event that happens once a month, every month. On Fridays. It is a sound bath meditation service led here by today's special musician, Rebecca Abraxas. So it's this Friday at 6:30. It's led down in the meditation room. It's a beautiful service. It's $25 at the door, or it's $20 if you get your ticket online on Eventbrite. And if you have any issues with that, you can ask any one of us to help you do it that way. But either way, it is a beautiful service. So Rebecca, take it away.
Live so long with good enough, pride in myself with being tough. Wasn't life supposed to be rough? the lights have been turned off, like a little kid whose skin is thin. I was scared to go in. There's a light behind the door. I know 'cause I've seen it before. I can be brave and I know what it's like to be sore. I'm ready to go through my locked door, ready to go. Daring greatly and I'm ready to go through my locked door. Tears stream down my face without a story to chase. There's souls I can't taste, sobs like someone close has died. My heart cracks open wide, and there's more than I realized. There's a light behind that door. I know 'cause I've seen it before. I can be brave and I know what it's like to be sore. I'm ready to go through my locked doors, ready to go. I'm daring greatly, oh I'm ready to go through my locked doors. Da 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 da. Hurt deep in my core. There's no hiding anymore. Instead of feeling chased, I'm seeing my own face like a holy mirror of grace. There's a light behind the door. I know 'cause I've seen it before. I can be brave and I know what it's like to be sore. I'm ready to go through my locked door, ready to go. Daring greatly, oh I'm ready. There's a light behind my door. I know 'cause I've seen it before. I can be brave and I know what it's like to be sore. I'm ready to go through my locked door.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's always amazing to have her sing. When I saw the lyrics to her music come across my email this week, it was like she'd read the sermon first and wrote the songs for it. You know, it's amazing, divine order, and there just really are no coincidences. You really just start to see that everything is synchronistic. We're so in tune, and we are all connected and one. But so often we forget that we are. And when you live in that tide, that everything is in this divine energy. You know, it's always moving in and through us. Your life gets a lot easier. It really does. You just don't push up against the things that aren't working the same. We know that it's a teacher. We know that it's there to guide us through stuff that needs to open up our door that we've closed on ourselves. Spirit never closes the door on ourselves. We're the ones that close the door. So today's talk title is Awaken, Thou Spirit Beyond Fear. I want to add to that title this morning, to the goodness of God, or to the goodness of the Creator. I want to speak on moving beyond fear because last week I did a sermon on falling in love again with our life now. And the only thing that really keeps us from that love is fear. So we have to figure out how to keep with the love, right? We have to recognize when we let fear sneak back in and why that happens. So I want to read this passage from Marianne Williamson that says, as we change our perceptions, Spirit will change who we are. When we have become who we are supposed to be, we will know what it is we are supposed to do. Okay, so when we realize who we really are, then we find out who we're supposed to be. And when we have remembered who is walking with us, we will have the courage to do it. When we realize there's this greater something, this greater energy we call God, Source, Spirit, whatever word makes you feel comfortable and hugged, is moving in and through all of it, then we're free to experience a life that we probably couldn't even dream up for ourselves, right? So you see what you choose to see because all perception is a choice. And when you cease to impose your meanings on what you see, your spiritual eyes will open, and you will see a world free of judgment and shining in its endless beauty. So when we talk about falling in love with life again for the first time, I was talking about how we've all been through such a change in the last 3 years. It changed us this last 3 years. And so much of that change that we were all going through, and a lot of us felt pretty isolated in that alone change, but it was the first time that we were all forced as a humanity to internalize and figure out how we're going to go forward in our lives. And many of us changed things in our life. We were no longer going to do things that no longer served our joy and happiness and peace in this world. So we learned a lot about ourselves while the world felt out of control to us, and we were left with the divine self, discovering what really does work in our lives. What is the current of the things that we really love in our life, and how do we add unto that? And not look back. We don't have to bring the fear and the fight or flight that we discovered through those 3 years, but to let go of that and move more gently and more quietly in our life. Our pace had picked up to a point where we were just kind of patching holes, trying to make things feel like a semblance of the past, something that felt familiar. And familiar was disappearing to all of us, and that is what put us in that state of fight or flight. To drop the oars and to recognize that it was all in divine unfoldment for this moment now. From this awakened state of consciousness, how do we keep the current of what we discovered? We discovered that we want to be closer to our family and friends, the ones that really nurture our souls, and cultivate good relationships in those. Give more time to them. We realized how quick life goes by, and that what is really important, what is our song that sings from within us, that gets us up out of bed and just holds us and empowers us and gets us that feeling of Christmas Eve as a kid. You know, that like, oh, I can't wait to see this day. I can't wait to see what's unfolded. A lot of us found that we loved our careers more than we ever loved our careers, and some of us realized we didn't like our careers at all, and we left them. Right? Many made big adjustments because it was like, okay, something like this could happen. We lived through an actual pandemic. Like, can you even conceive of that? Like, did you ever see that in your reality, that was something that actually happens? I mean, we always saw it in the history of life, but that never, was in my reality. Oh, that actually could happen in my lifetime. And we made it. So are we going to use it, though, to be a great catapult for the betterment of our soul journey? Or are we going to still feel fragmented and keep walking through life in a state of panic? And there's a lot of panic that arrived from that experience for many. And a lot of people lost a lot of things. Financially, it changed people's lives. People lost physical friends and family members, right? So falling in love with life again for the first time is seeing from the new view, to see from a childlike wonder, like from the eagle state of consciousness, the highest consciousness, the 5D consciousness. We have so many words for this heightened state of consciousness. It's the one that doesn't sit here. It's the one that sits here. It's that intuitive knowing. It's that nudging from the universe to keep going forward into a trajectory, into the things that you know you are in expression, and to move into that, and to live in that joy and that love. You see, when it really comes down to it, the soul journey is not a momentary aha. Oh, that's what it's all about. Like we think we're just going to have this aha moment where you just hit this threshold and it's like, and then it all opens up unto us and it's all going to be, bliss, right? It's not that way though. It is a practice and a presence that is shown anew over and over again throughout our lifetime as we contract and as we release. This in and out process becomes less drastic as we move in and out through the breath, through faith, and stay in this forward trajectory. Forward in the current of what actually is working. So when we stay in that energy of what's actually working, we don't look to the things that to take us off balance, because when we're looking in that current, we're staying in faith that something greater is at hand. Something is empowered and in our divine life in unfoldment, and it's exciting, and we might not know where we're going to end up. That can be really scary, or that can be super awesome, to not know where we can end up. So one of the wonderful things when I teach my prosperity classes, which I haven't in a few years because now that I'm speaking every week, it's a little harder to do a class like that. But I say at the beginning of the class to think of one really big thing you want to manifest this year, right? It might be, like last year mine was I wanted to go to Italy. I thought, I don't know how I'm going to pay for Italy. That is not in a financial reality for me at this time with 2 teenagers and them in all their extracurricular things. But somehow, it all fell into place. I didn't go into debt with it, and it was the most incredible experience. Right, so putting out there, planting a seed in spirit, planting it in your being, something you really want to do now. Like, because if we learned something around in the COVID time was quit putting off your good tomorrow, that which you can claim today. Today is all we have. Now is what we have. Get excited with the idea that you can plant in. You might go, well, my career would never do it. That's the fear. We go, well, there's just no way. I don't see how financially, there's no way there's other streams of income. Right? We do all this type of thing, and we don't, and that is faithlessness. That is not believing that there is something great that moves into a current of freedom, happiness, forward moving. It's the stagnation and the holding still in fear that just blocks us, locks the door from our good. It takes us to really like ourselves and love ourselves enough to say, you know what? I have nurtured everybody else my whole life. It's my turn. It's my turn to step into this current that I know I'm so worthy of. And the universe knows that I'm so worthy. And we're going to blend this, and we're going to create something new this year. So it becomes less drastic, this inward movement and outward movement, as we move in and out through the breath, through faith, and stay in a forward trajectory. You will have glimpses of familiar appearances, things that just remind you of something that might not be of this lifetime, but of another lifetime, a current of energy and knowledge that you already had. Really, it's really, this work is about living in remembrance of this greatness that's within you. I'm never standing up here saying I'm anything different than you. I have the same ups and downs. I have the same currents where everything seems to be working, and then there's times where it's like it just feels like I can't kind of get the answers. But I know how to move back into the answers. I know the tools because I know this is a practice. It's not something that you hit a plateau and then you just got it. It's a constant trajectory forward into moving into this greater power, this greater love. Love is the vehicle. Love is the answer. So you'll have glimpses of familiar appearances, things that just go, it's got sparkle dust around it and it feels like it's otherworldly. You will have people will say the darndest things around you, answering some call that you have within you. The universe has to use other people a lot to miracle work in your life, to mirror that what you're asking for will be answered in some way. A lot of times I'll talk about animal totems. When you look at a certain animal that crosses your path at a certain time, look at what you're thinking about, what you're pondering, what you're cultivating in your life, and go look up what that animal's totem message is. The universe is constantly moving in and through us. If we live from this ego point of view, that there's something greater always happening. And if you're feeling like you're in stagnating water, or you feel like you're in quicksand, or your life feels like Groundhog Day and you're bored and you're tired, that's you. Not loving yourself enough to pull yourself out of that quicksand and move forward and do the things that make you fall in love with life again. Falling in love is a love of self. We can never fall in love with another person unless we actually love ourselves. That's where love resides. The Christ example is love in this human experience, right? Until you recognize that all is unfolding before you in a timing that is in concurrence with your availability and openness for growth. There are times where there is a flood of clarity coming into your awareness, set off by an internal search for knowing. And then we've all had this experience. There are times where all you want is the answers of what to do next, and all you hear are crickets. In those times, this is the time that it is imperative that you drop the need to know and take more quiet time for reverence and meditation, seeking nothing and allowing for the slightest nudge towards your next moves. Spirit doesn't work within time and plans. It finds its life in you when you recognize this moment, this holy moment. When you are in synergy, when you are in homeostasis spiritually, mind, body, and spirit is holy and whole, then the universe just has nothing but a perfect boat on a perfect ocean to move you to that which is needed, called, wanted, and necessary. Let's take a deep breath in that. It's trusting that this greater something is always trying to grab a hold and give you that which is divine for your unfoldment. It first takes faith in this greater something, and it takes a love and a trust of your intuition and of your spirit, that you too can work the same miracles and more as Jesus Christ said we all could do. He is not one devoted only Son of God. We are all the perfect children of God. He was just one of the great examples to show us that we are the I am. I am, the greatest word for God. I am. You can fill that in with anything. I am courageous. I am divine. I am loved. I am needed. I am curious. I am inspired. Right? When you go to sleep with those kind of words, watch how your dreams start to unfold, what the nudge, that next something that is asking, it's calling you. Your name is being called all the time, but fear is a blocker, man. It's a door that shuts everything. Because it's like, well, what if I lose everything if I try to do that? Well, if you want to have the same experience over and over again by doing the same thing, what do they call that? Insanity. So it takes to be courageous. Do something. It doesn't have to be something so courageous that you leave a career tomorrow and then, you set out on something that you have no plans. Set yourself up for success a little bit. I'm saying, go to a different coffee shop tomorrow. Okay? It can be like the tuning of a little string can make a perfect little chord, right? We think it has to be something like a grand jeté over a mountain to now step into the greatness. But that's fear. Fear makes that mountain that we think we have to overcome when it could just be a simple centering, a simple remembering. Just a simple, when you go to bed at night, I want to wake up happy tomorrow. Spirit, help me wake up happy tomorrow. Spirit, help me get out of bed and go to that gym like I said I was going to start doing this year. Spirit, I'm open and receptive. I'm ready for my lover to appear in my life. And change coffee shops, change where you're eating lunch every day, right? We do the same pattern, but we're like, why isn't this person appearing? Because you haven't stepped out of your comfort zone. You haven't stepped into this divine. The universe is going to tell you where that car should go. Well, let's try this place. I've never tried it before. Invite a friend if it's too hard to try new things, right? So it finds its life in you when you recognize this moment, this holy moment, and then expressing from the gratitude for everything. You can conjure and allow patience, nature, music, visions, dreams, and peace of mind and soul to stay open for clarity. So when you feel the heart rate going up, what can you do to go back into the current of love? Ashwagandha is a great vitamin, by the way. That's one that if you're feeling panicky in your life, you can take ashwagandha in the morning. I feel like it's a very spiritual vitamin because it just puts you in this peaceful place. I have many people that are dealing with anxiety issues, and I think it's because it was just a little too much for 3 years straight for a lot of people. And we need to be able to be calm to go into meditation. So God, Mother's Earth has given us herbs to support us, to support our systems. We have joy oil, young living. We have peace and calming oil. All these oils live next to my desk. I know when I've been in a counseling session that I was facing, I'm an empath, so I can naturally kind of take on people's troubles. They're things that they've gone through. And I just slather myself, and I use my Palo Santo wood, and I burn it over myself. And I take care of this vessel because I've been called to this work. And when I take care of this vessel, I love this work. But when I forget to put the oxygen mask on myself first before I take care of what is being called, I can really feel bogged down and be like, why would anybody want to do this job? Because people don't come to us because they're in a good mood. Things aren't going well because they want to come and meet with you. We get to hear the hardship all the time and how hard life can be. Life can be hard. And if it can be hard, it can be so amazing. It can be so beautiful. It can take your breath away every time. Paul Ferrini says, we are the womb in which God's Spirit is carried, nurtured, and brought forth. We are the womb in which God's Spirit is carried, nurtured, and brought forth. That's beautiful, right? We are the womb. So what are we putting in that womb? What are we telling to that womb? Like, think of us women that have carried children. We were so careful about what we thought about, what we shared with their bodies, because we just wanted to build these perfect little rubber babies. Perfect, healthy. There's something else to do it for. For some reason, the pregnancy makes us, we can do it because it's for something else. Why is it so hard for us to nurture and love this vehicle? Just because you are the womb in which God's Spirit is carried. You do realize in the end, it's not that it's just going to bless you, because then you will be a radiating center of the Christ light for all. How else would this supposed second coming of Christ come? It's going to come through us. We are the second coming. We went through the death, and now we're in the resurrection. We are the resurrection. The resurrection is old beliefs. The death is all the old limited thoughts, the thought that we're not good enough, or we're not lovable, or we're not worthy, or whatever affirmations have kept us stuck in feeling small and scared, to the death of ideas that were planted on us, and we decided to grab a hold of them and run with them, and living small, letting it leave by. This is a new year, and stepping into the resurrection of what you are capable of feeling in this love, of being in this love, and nurturing in this love. One of the affirmations we hear a lot with people, and I talk to a lot of people in life, and not always is it bad news that's being shared with me. Obviously, if I'm just walking around the church, it's nice. But as far as when you're meeting with counseling sessions, there's usually some sort of a trauma going on. But one of the biggest fears people really have is missing out and the fear of unfulfilled potential. The fear of unfulfilled potential. So, if you know thyself, which is one of the greatest affirmations, to know thyself is to know God. If you become an advocate for this knowing thyself and loving thyself, when you're loving thyself, you are loving God. Because when we love ourselves, we love others. And when we are mean to ourselves and we are talking to ourselves in a way that we wouldn't want for our worst enemy, and we're speaking to the lack and we're telling ourselves that we can't heal something or we haven't got the ability to overcome this scary thing that we're facing, then we are going to express that out and add more of that darkness to this world. And there will be no heightened consciousness that's going to bring a healing for a planet so light and beautiful. We will then just be like all these leaders that are corrupt and lying and disgusting. We are stepping in. We are choosing to not be of the world, but to be the spiritual first. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Can you imagine if the leadership of this world could understand and identify that they are spiritual beings in a powerful place to make good of all the wrongs that people have made to put the planet in the situation with the factories the way they are, with the lack of equality, with the lack of all the things that are finally coming out, which is exciting, because the truth will set us free. The truth is coming out, and it's exciting, right? But it's taken a lot of pain in this world for the truth to come out from underneath the carpet. But we don't have to be a part of that dark vibration as it's all coming out, but holding a space for the betterment of this world. Then we won't have panic attacks because we are all empathic, we're all connected, and with so much going on in this world, you could lose your way. You could lose your power. There's a great song that Tina Turner's done, an album of spiritual music, and it's kind of a culmination of Buddhism and Christianity, and there's this number, the album is called Beyond, and you can look it up on YouTube, it's really amazing. But this is some of the words she writes in one of these songs that I've been really enjoying lately. She says, "Nothing lasts forever. No one lives forever. Embrace the cycles of life. Go beyond fear. Go beyond fear. Beyond fear, it takes you into the place where love grows. Beyond means to feel yourself, to fall in love with yourself and the innate gifts God gave you. Start every day singing like the birds." Singing like the birds. See, birds are definitely a part of my totems that feed me and love me because I feed them, and they probably don't fly south like they're supposed to. They all kind of live at my house, and I kind of feel bad, but I just enjoy them so much. I have some that they're supposed to be leaving, but they stay, and then I just feed them underneath my porch, and we just kind of keep it. We have a warm little tub for their food and water. And the singing of the birds in the morning when I get up to meditate, which could be 4 o'clock, it could be 3 in the morning, to hear them outside, I feel like I just hear them saying my name. I always ends up sounding like my name. Like, I'm a part of this entire universe. I'm a part of them. And they are part of me. And when those squirrels take over and they eat it all and those little birds don't get to it, I don't get mad at all because they are so fat and they're so cute right now. I am that squirrel. I am those birds. And when they aren't getting along, there's different types and they're being a little stupid with each other. I'm like, come on, guys. Can't we share those seeds? It's the sweetness of life. It's the softening into this life that makes us fall in love again with the life that we already have, because it's a whole different perspective. We step out of judgment and remember the beauty that love is. In Love Without Conditions by Paul Farini, he says this: don't try to love other people before you learn to love yourself. You won't be able to do it. This may be hard for you to hear, but it is the truth. Unless you are happy now, you will never find happiness. So if you are not happy now, stop trying to find happiness in the future and bring your attention to the present moment. That is where your happiness is. So I'm just going to give you a second just to think about the areas of your life that you could find happiness in your life right now. And just get into the presence of that. When you think about the things that you really do love about your life right now, connect with what that feels like. What does that feel like to love this part of your life? Because when you can really connect with that feeling, then that's what you need to step into every morning in your meditation, is to resonate in that energy. We are all energy. So it's resonation. It's like why music touches us. It's why storms affect us. It's why the moving cycles of life are affecting us. When we can move into this cycle of life of what is really singing in my heart, and what does remind me of the life that I created this life. I did everything to get to this point. What can I love about what we've created here? I've created it. Spirit and I have created here. So Myrtle Fillmore, who is the co-founder of the Unity movement, she and Charles, Myrtle is a big part of where Unity started, and a big part of it is on miraculous physical healing. And she was sickened by tuberculosis and was given 3 months to live. And she went to a public talk of a speaker at the time named E.B. Weeks, who did a whole talk on healing. But she was there with a group of people, with her husband and some spiritual friends. And when she left a light, because she heard the words, "I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness." She heard that through the universe. It got planted as a seed in her being, and none of them heard those words. So she was sure the speaker said it, but nobody in the audience heard it. And she went home and she went and worked with those words. I don't inherit sickness. Think of how often people go, well, my mom always had migraines, so I have migraines. We identify with the illnesses and the woes of the physical family line. And we identify that because it is in this family line, then it's absolutely it's the way it is. When in the masterful and miraculous spiritual mindset, we are not connected to illness. That is a state of being disconnected from wholeness. Regardless if your mom or dad had certain physical issues and all of a sudden you're getting symptoms of it, this opportunity is there to cultivate faith in this greater power and this greater love. And Myrtle goes on to say this: "You ask what restored me to vigorous health. It was a change of mind from the old carnal mind that believes in sickness to the Christ mind of life and permanent health. In the Bible, it says in Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewal of your mind. And in Proverbs 23:7, it says, as he thinketh in his heart, so is she, as she thinketh. in her heart, so is she. Both are correct. I applied spiritual laws effectively, blessing my body temple until it manifested the innate health of spirit. These wonderful laws will work for you, too, when you apply them diligently and in faith. I use this as an example because this is where unity was born. She has a beautiful book called The Healing Letters of Myrtle Fillmore, and people wrote into her. She talked on the phones, and she worked all day into the late hours and talked this truth into people's physical bodies, and people healed themselves from her faith and building their faith in this greater power. This is all real, folks. I have worked in Unity all my life. I grew up in Unity. I grew up in all the buildings in this town. And I have watched miracle after miracle. I've seen people heal themselves from the brinks when they can really take this in. When they can really, really get away from all the naysayers and the people that want to speak to the illness instead of the power that lives within you. And you can use this, she's not saying just for physical health, it's for prosperity, it's for life, it's for abundance. If you believe that there's something greater, you can change, you can restore your health, your happiness, your abundance, your life. If you're willing to let it. Is your pain body your teacher? Is your story of ill too important to you to keep having a conversational piece to get attention and affections from others? We really have to take to task. You get a lot quieter when you're in this work. You think, is this going to empower myself, or is this going to empower someone else right now? Go speak to your spiritual advisors. Speak to your mentors. Speak to the people that believe in your wholeness. If you can't get away from, leave the country and go find yourself and find yourself abundantly and find your voice, your inner voice, and make the life that you deserve. Stop looking to others to find out validation if I should or if I am or if I can be good enough to receive life in wholeness and beauty and laughter and joy and fun and excitement and curiousness and yes. Your goodness is running after you. It's running after you. It always is. Spirit is running at you, trying to give you all of this. And all you have to do is take some of what I'm sharing today. And you have to plant it here. Whoa. I could heal my relationship with my kids. I can help my children overcome something. I can heal myself. I can love myself. I can finally give myself the life that I have been so desiring. Phineas Quimby says it this way: healing is embracing what is most feared, opening what has been closed, softening what has hardened into obstruction. Healing is learning to trust life. Trust and faith are really the same thing. And that meditation, even if you think it's not doing anything, a lot of people when they start meditating, it takes a while for you to feel the resonance of spirit moving in and through. But you sit down for 5 minutes and you think nothing has happened for that 5 minutes. Watch how your life flows. Watch how you can say, I need a good parking spot because I'm running late, and there's a parking spot. The universe is just like, oh, you need this, oh, you need this, oh, you need this, because you are in the divine alignment with this greater love, this greater everything. But when we start the day like, I hate my job. My teenager will not get dressed on time, and he's going to be late to school for the 50th time. Or, in your world, or your dog just crapped in your kitchen when you got up, and you're like, oh, good day, good start. Right? We're always looking for the affirmation of negativity, right? You know if you're that person. we're all that person at some point, honestly. I mean, when you're in one of those bad phases where you're just hearing crickets, it's super annoying. I get it. And the first thing we do is meditate, and the last thing we're like, I don't want to meditate. Who has time for this? So, I guess my point in this talk is to move out of fear. To find the love that you have in your life now. What do you love about your life now? And add unto that. Telling Spirit before you go to bed, can you please help me wake up happy? Spirit, can you please help me heal this? Spirit, help me forgive this person. Spirit, help me get out of bed motivated and stoked for the life I'm dreaming for myself. And if it's not the way I want it, I know it will be even better because you are divine in nature. And so am I. I am, the greatest word for God, prosperous. I am free. I am in love. I am Spirit, and I'm so grateful that I am alive. And I still have a second chance to try to do this differently. This is going to be the year of happy. This is going to be the year of joy and healthfulness and goodness. I'm going to fill this glass up, and I'm going to put my mask on, and then I'm going to start sharing it with everyone. So I'm going to just take you into a short meditation and just get comfortable. It's actually a poem that was written by Matt Kahn for the new year, and I just found it so touching that I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it with you. So let's just get comfortable in our seat and with our feet flat on the ground. And if you can, sit up and not let the pew support your back. It's really best to use your core and just open up the third eye and just letting Father Sky's energy just entering, clearing and cleansing anything that's no longer serving us and filling in this vehicle. And we'll just have this light be white coming and filling us in and moving down through the shoulders and the chest, the core and the thighs and the knees, and the calves, until that light is now penetrating down deeply into the earth, at least 20 feet. And now we're going to imagine a pink light coming back up from Mother Earth and climbing that light and just circling this light until it enters our feet. And it's going to fill us up also with this pink, healing, loving energy that's going to go up through our knees, our thighs, our core, our chest, to our neck, our head, and then coming out and connecting us to Father Sky. So we're anchored in the Spirit and in the earth. And just taking a couple deep breaths in and out. It's titled A Timeless Truth by Matt Kahn. There is a song in your heart that yearns to be heard. A book inside you that starts with a word. A truth so timeless it can only be free. As it shows you the way you are meant to be. There's a wisdom expanding from all you have learned. Like a map in your pocket that's meant to be burned. To unhook you from torment and help you to see. a truth so timeless, it can only be free. There are people you know who don't see the real you, who read from a script as they so often do. To imagine it different is being seduced by a choice, when the purpose is inspiring the use of your voice. There is love in your heart as the light of your soul that shines so brightly no matter the role. Like weather endured by the roots of a tree, a truth so timeless it can only be free. There's wholeness inside you that asks to be known, that cannot be touched by judgment or a groan. It's a path of salvation. Each breath is your clue to remember the approval always within you. There's a peace in your being that knows what you need. It holds you in silence like soil with seed. Let's water this garden and watch as it grows into the highest self your destiny knows. There's a victory in progress, and you are who won. The gift of redemption, a rebirthing sun, shining so brightly through fear and each tear, allowing the divine to declare who is here. There are gifts to be shared that live in your heart, that honors the new year as chances to start, expressing the brilliance that reminds you to be free, a truth so timeless it can only be free. May this be a year of profound peace and a 12-month cycle of joyful, ever-expanding alignment with Source that manifests as the infinite love that you are, have always been, and shall always be. May it be a year where awakening, empathic hearts begin stepping forward into greater service and roles of leadership to help stabilize and guide your ascending planet and awakening humanity into the golden age of divine remembrance. And so it is. All for light, all for life, all for love. Amen. I can feel this in this room right now. Take this with you. It's exciting. It's an exciting time. I know you all got this. Blessings.
Well, what a beautiful awakening this is this morning. She's right, we carry this with us. We will be emissaries of light, and that's all we're about doing, being emissaries of light in the things that we do on our path. And that's going to bring the changes that we're looking forward to all around us and in the world. So now as we prepare to take this offering, I'd like to remind everyone that is watching online, you can donate in these ways. We appreciate that. I also want to say to you, this year is going to be dynamic in changes that are going to be made within our lives, and also we're going to watch it happening, spilling over into the world. So why don't you make some decisions about this new year? At least put in an appearance here every now and then and feel the energy just beyond the words. Those of you that are watching online, getting up in the morning and not showing up here to share in this energy right here, you're only getting the words for the most part, but you want to get what's going on inside right here. So I'm inviting you, do something courageous. Come on down, enter into this Sunday service. And so now let's bring to mind that financial gift we'd like to make to Unity of Boulder. Let's bless that gift with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. Right. So it is. And we have Rebecca Abraxas to share that amazing music with us once again.
Life can have a funny way, building you up and taking you down. But life's never against you. It's like a magic mirror. It helps you see and has your back. You're beautiful in the light. You're beautiful in the light. Stay beautiful. Your tears and your laughter and everything in between can give you information of what and where you want to be. But the present's where you get to be free. You're beautiful in the light. You're beautiful. You're beautiful in the light. You're beautiful. Nothing takes away your dreams. Nothing takes your joy. There's nothing that can ruin your day. You get to make the choice. This is your moment to find a way. You sparkle, you smile, you be you. No one can be the you you be. You sparkle, you smile, you be you. No one can be the you you be. You're beautiful in the light. You're beautiful in the light. You're beautiful. You're beautiful in the light. You're beautiful in the light. Stay beautiful. You're beautiful.
So as you know, we always have a gathering afterwards with food and coffee in the fellowship hall, and then in about 10 minutes I'll hold a circle if you want to discuss further the talk today, and we'll meet at the back of the sanctuary back here. So you're all welcome to join us for that. And again, we have Zelita Grant's amazing workshop today. I will highly recommend anything that she does. She's just a special, very intuitive, gift-filled soul. So sign up for that in the bookstore, and that starts at 1:30 in the fellowship hall. We have prayer partners available. If you guys could stand up, if you have a prayer need today, just stay seated in your seat, and they will come and find you and take you down to our beautiful meditation room and pray with you. All right, let's all rise and close with our ending song, Release. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. Can you turn her mic on? With faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in my Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Now it's your turn. I want to hear you. There you are. I'm hearing harmonies. We need you in our choir.